My artifact number 1 is the teacher interview from SPED 730. With this assignment, I interviewed Misha, who is the SLD resource teacher here at the school where I work. And so when I was looking back over the interview, I felt quite nostalgic. I could literally imagine me sitting in her resource room with coffee in my hand as we were going back and forth in conversation. And it made me feel really good knowing that over a year later, my friendship with Misha has grown and strengthened greatly. Upon reading through my paper, I was actually surprised at a few of the grammatical errors that I had in my paper. I usually feel very confident in my writing ability, so I wasn't expecting to see so many typos. So I fixed those typos, and I'm really hoping that the rest of the artifacts that I will be reflecting on will have less grammatical errors than this one did. I also noticed that the paper that I wrote was actually, it was in APA format, but not in its entirety. It was like bits and pieces of APA format, but it wasn't all entirely correct. And so that gave me an insight on how much I've grown with APA style formatting. When I started the program, I wasn't familiar with APA at all. I was very familiar with MLA. And so SPED 730 was towards the beginning of the program, and so I could really see how much I didn't know about APA style formatting and how much I've grown in that sense as well. So I had to go through and reformat the paper and make sure that it was in APA format. So that took a little while, and I found that there were a few holes in my interview with Misha. Looking back at the rubric and what my professor expected of me, I noticed that I didn't really elaborate on specific evidence-based practices and strategies that Misha has in her class. I mentioned them, but I didn't say specifically, I didn't give specific evidence-based practices that she used. And I think that's because Misha and I did not really have as deep of a conversation as maybe we should have. However, I've learned some very, very valuable information about those topics through my experiences at KU. For example, udlcenter.org is probably one of my favorite websites. I have it bookmarked on my laptop. It's an amazing evidence-based practice because the principles of UDL help to ensure that our lessons are accessible for all of our learners. And actually, since learning about UDL, I feel that my lesson plans have improved as well as my teaching ability in general. My students seem more engaged in their learning, which is definitely a plus, probably the biggest plus. So that's my reflection on my teacher interview assignment. I'm looking forward to having an opportunity to reflect on my other assignments as well.